Beck is a tight-lipped bounty hunter who doesn't like to use a gun and accepts any job without asking questions. When Beck's employer, Walker, sends him to the Amazon to locate Walker's cocky son, Travis, Beck discovers a population controlled by a tyrannical treasure hunter. To survive, Beck and Travis must work together, without their affections of a mysterious rebel getting in the way. Welcome to another feature presentation of Midnight Double Feature, and on this episode we'll be covering 2003's The Rundown, directed by Peter Berg.
Hey guys, welcome back to another feature presentation of Midnight Double Feature. We are back. We're doing an action film, a pretty fun action film, but I'm not going to give away my thoughts yet. I'm here with Colin and Danny. Colin, you say hi first, and then Danny will say hi first because I got to fucking lay this shit out for you two.
Hey, oh.
We tried.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, but dude, this is our first Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah, wow.
It is, and it's also our first Peter Berg movie. And I know that that's not really a big deal to you guys, but I actually really dig Peter Berg as a director, man. Like he did Lone Survivor, Deepwater Horizon.
Deepwater Horizon.
He did Patriots Day. Unfortunately, he made a stinker this last year called Mile 22. And he did that god-awful Battleship film. Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, like other than that, man, whenever he does like smaller movies like Lone Survivor, definitely check that movie out, man. It pulls on the heartstrings pretty highly. But yeah, let's just fucking dive into our opening thoughts on this bitch. Colin, you go first. Give us your thoughts on what in Australia is known as Welcome to the Jungle, but in the States is called The Rundown. So if you guys hear me referring to this as Welcome to the Jungle, it's because I'm obviously Australian, and that's what I know it as, and that's what I've known it as for fucking 16 years. I can't just call it The Run.
Yeah, Danny's like, hey man, let's do The Rundown. And I was like,
yeah,
all right, cool. And you're like, oh yeah, Welcome to the Jungle. I was like, what the? No, welcome to the Jungle. I was like, no.
Games.
And that reminds me of how much I fucking hate Guns N' Roses.
Well, now we're gonna have to pay for playing that song. That's a very expensive song, I think.
Oh, yeah, right. Dude, yeah, it's fine. I'm sure we're in debt for like $1 million for all the last 74 episodes we've done, and somehow snuck music in there from everyone.
Yeah.
Well, Axl Rose will die before our suit ever gets to court. And we have a lawyer on the staff. Hello. But no,
really thought this through.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you think I brought a fucking lawyer on, dude? Come on. No. But no, I like this movie, man. It's weird. This is a weird movie sometimes. Like, I'll be completely honest. Like, I don't own this movie. I'll probably never own this movie. It has a 90% on like Google reviews. It has like a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, and you know, it's weird. I'm not bothered by that. Like, I don't, this movie is a fucking anomaly to me. Cause like, there's parts of it that are incredible and they're really well choreographed. And yeah, especially it reminds me like, there were a lot of really bad movies made in the early 2000s, but this was kind of like that time of The Rock when he was doing like Walking Tall, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that movie either. You know, that was like, we had that one on all the time in my house when I was like a teenager. But this movie just strikes such a weird chord because there's really nothing that special about it. In fact, there's parts that are downright bad, but it still somehow pulls out of this thing. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the story. I don't know if it's the writing to it or what. Like there's it's so odd. I think the story probably gets me the most. You know, somebody just going to basically hunt someone down. You know, do a rundown and pick them up, bring them back. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But I like this movie, and I really didn't think that I would. Like I honestly, I haven't seen it in a long time. I only saw it because of the martial artist Ernie Reyes Jr. Jr. Who's in this. I'd only seen it because of that, and I've never seen it since then. But I gotta say, I like it. It kind of thoroughly surprised me.
Nice, Danny, hit us with your thoughts. This was your pick, so
this was my pick. Yeah, this is Colin was talking about how he's perplexed that it has such good reviews, despite how awkward of a direction it goes. It definitely is different, but it almost has some unrealistic parts to the point where you don't know if it's trying to be like a serious movie or a goofy movie. But I feel like there's never one part where you're supposed to be taking this movie super seriously. Like even walking in, he like diagnoses this whole club scene, and it almost shows up like NFL rosters on like ESPN. So it already has like this like fun, creative, neat side to it. And for whatever reason, like The Rock works really well in this movie. I don't know what you guys think of that, but this is, I think, my first introduction to watching him probably star in something, even though I had seen, when did The Scorpion King come out?
Yeah, I was about to bring that up earlier. So The Scorpion King is literally 1 year before this, and then he was in The Mummy Returns as that CGI monstrosity in 2001.
It's terrible.
So,
yeah, but The Scorpion King is actually pretty good if you just don't want to turn your brain off and watch a movie. It's very funny to me, at least. And this kind of is a little bit more of a serious version, I guess, maybe of that. As well as just a bunch more of like coordinated action scenes in it. So, but the action scenes are just a little bit different. They don't mind looking a little goofy if it looks cool. Like there's a couple scenes we'll get to where I'll bring up like, hey, this kind of like feels like this would never fucking happen, but it's still pretty cool to watch how they choreographed and like made it look. So it's got a nice balance of humor and a nice balance of action. So it's just fun to kind of turn your brain off and watch this one too. So I like it. That's why I picked it. So definitely not like my favorite movie. I don't think it'll ever show up in like the 100 list, like whatever that library is, that like the 100 best movies ever, like it like archived into. It would never show up on one of those, but it's still fun to watch. So Sohaib, what do you think of a movie that is called something else in your country? What's up with that?
I think look,
USA,
I agree.
USA,
Fuck
USA.
off. Fuck off. You know what? I agree with you guys for the most part. I think I'm going to be the heel in this episode, unfortunately. And I'll tell you why. Like we'll go through it, but like I watched this movie as a 10-year-old. Like I watched it at the movies, and it wasn't. It was honestly The Rock. Like it was just like seeing him like star in a movie, and like I was never a wrestling fan growing up. Like sorry, Patrick, I know you're listening and be like, oh, why did wrestling?
Likewise, never a wrestling fan. I think Colin will agree.
Right, but seriously, like it was just word of mouth when you're that age, like, and you're friends with people in primary school who are friends of wrestling, and you've heard of The Rock, you know who The Rock is, and like the only thing I think I did see Mummy Returns before this, like when I was 10, and I was like, oh, it's The Rock, that's cool, but he never spoke, and I didn't see The Scorpion King till way later.
He snarls the whole time.
He snarls, and he's got his little fucking scorpion claws or crab claws or whatever the fuck, I don't know. And then I didn't see The Scorpion King until way later, because like when I was a kid, I didn't really like the whole sword and sandal sort of movie. Like The Mummy was a bit of a novelty because it was The Mummy. It was pretty cool. But so this was actually the first starring movie of The Rock that I saw, and man, I love this movie as a kid. Like this was so fucking fun. Like this was just a hell of a good time. And that's it. Like it was a good time. That's the only way I can put it. But like watching it now, man, it seems a little dated. Like there are a lot of dated fucking things in here. And by the way, this is an NRA ad. Like this is like saying guns can achieve everything. You can't make this movie today. There's no fucking way. You can't make this. You can't make this arc that The Rock has in this movie. You can't make that today.
But he doesn't maintain it.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, the double barrel shotgun?
Have you heard about Lord and Savior, the double barrel shotgun that you cock using your armpits?
So true. true, dude. Oh, no, I'm over here. I feel like I'm just kind of like bursting to talk about some of the ridiculous, like putting the two shotguns
aren't
together.
You guys
like,
so glad
God.
aren't you so glad we're doing this? That's why we did it. That's why we picked this.
But dude, some of it is excellent. Like the quick cuts, like when it's going through this whole offensive line, like at the beginning, not to jump too far ahead.
We need to jump into this shit. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, fuck you. I'm not done with my thoughts, bitch. I love you, Daddy. So I was really hoping, because I haven't seen this in years, but I was really hoping that this wasn't dated, and I think a lot of it is. I remember this movie being a lot longer and a lot more things happening, but it just, like, as I was writing the notes for this, I posted in our group chat. This episode might be pretty short because there's not much happens. Like,
you're not going to talk about how, like, the groundbreaking sort of choreography of, like, them rolling down a hill for 45 goddamn minutes.
No, and I'm definitely not going to talk about the fucking baboon humping the Rock's face for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah,
like,
I forgot about that until we watched it.
Yeah. By the way, if you remove that sequence of the baboon humping the Rock's face for 30 minutes, this movie is like a short film. Like this.
I mean, yeah, kind of. It's like what? I think it's an hour 45 with credits. So it's like, I mean, it's a 90-minute script for sure.
It is tight though. It is pretty tight. Like I dig that. Like I like that about it.
It's another 20-minute sequence of them getting the cows to move off the runway.
Oh, for sure. But the casting of this movie is pretty good, man. Like, everyone does a good job. Like, they all know what kind of movie they're in, and I love that. Like, I love that about movies like this. So, obviously, Dwayne Johnson does a good job. Sean William Scott, man, like, I always love this guy. Like, I always found him hilarious. For a lot of people, he might be a bit too much, but this is a role that he fits like right into.
Colin, do you remember watching Bulletproof Monk?
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Okay. That's a Sean William Scott movie that came out the same exact time as this, and he has the same exact character, really. And if anyone's seen it, they know what I'm talking about.
Sean William Scott, the broke man's Ryan Reynolds. He fucking is, dude. Like, as I'm watching this, I'm like, and like, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there was like a low budget, like, version of Deadpool that came out, like, oh, hey, here's Death Lake, or like Death something. Like, it would be fucking Sean William Scott. Like, it absolutely would be. It would be something like, here's Death Jacuzzi, or like something real. Like, it's like when the Transmorphers came out, like after Transformers. I'm like, you know what the fuck you're doing. Like, we know that you know what you're doing, you motherfucker. Like, but Sean William Scott would absolutely be the off man, the broke man's like off brand fucking like Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time I'm watching this, dude.
Spin-off, yeah. But Rosario Dawson, god damn, she's fucking beautiful. And Christopher Walken as the villain. This was the first Christopher Walken movie I'd ever seen in my life.
What the damn it, dude?
Yep.
That's how you start. Jesus Christ.
I'm 10 years old, Colin. Like,
Oh god,
like I was 10.
I think mine's Batman
watch Pulp
Returns.
Fiction.
Yeah,
it's
I stuck
Batman,
in the one place
dude.
I could. It's my ass.
God, he hit it, and the one place he could hide it is ass.
Yes.
There you go.
But you know who kind of like stole the show for me a little bit as a kid, and in this time around as well. Fucking Ewan Bremner as Declan the pilot.
Dude, he is awesome.
He plays such an entertaining character. Around the World in 80 Days, he's in that too.
Yeah, he is. He's
Trainspotting?
in Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
Yeah.
I forgot. Like, he is awesome in
He is a Wonder
Trainspotting, dude.
Woman.
Yeah. He's a sniper.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember who he was. I
He's
think
too timid. Yeah.
Lucy Davies from Shaun of the Dead is in fucking Wonder Woman, and I was like, what? Like, when she pops up, I was like, what the hell? Like, I haven't seen you in like 15 years. Where the hell have you been?
You know who else is in Wonder Woman? That woman in House of Cards. Let's keep going with this. How many shows away can we get from this?
Robin Wright, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Robin Wright's in Blade Runner. just keep going.
Here we go.
You know who else is in Blade Runner?
You know who directed Blade Runner? Ridley fucking Scott. Let's get off this bitch. All right, I'm done with my opening thoughts. This was it was a little disappointing to watch again, only because I think it's dated a little bit now.
Couple dated jokes.
Couple dated jokes. Even the action sequences are super dated. Like, some of them are like towards the end, man. The shit that he's doing, I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I'm no worries, man.
I love how they shoot a van for like 45 minutes.
Exactly. But yeah, man. Like, okay. So without any further ado, what do you guys say we get into this bitch?
Sure,
I'm cool with that. Sure, fuck it.
if we have to.
Yeah,
I love mushrooms. What a weird way to open the movie. Like, over the credits, it's like open the studios. It's like, I love mushrooms, and it's just like this radio thing. But we meet Beck. He takes notes because he wants to be a chef. And then, like, it's at this point when I realize when he gets out, and I'm like, oh, we're dealing with quote Skinny Rock. This is Skinny Rock. This is Pebble. Like, this is back when he's tiny.
Yeah.
Oh, for a second there, I was like, are you talking about the white dude that lets him in the club? Skinny Rock's a terrible name. I'm not intimidated by that at all. I was like, I had gone like 2 steps in another direction with this conversation. I was like, whoa, like not as, Skinny Rock is still like not, I mean, good Lord. Like, I think Skinny Rock, I'm like, oh yeah, not as big as like the fucking mountain that he is today. Gotcha.
Dude,
okay,
he's a
cool.
planet. Like it's funny to see him today, and it's funny to see him like back in the day. Like, he's still huge back in the day, but man, he is like he's his own fucking galaxy. Like, he's got planets orbiting him.
Like, his upper body's so big, it's almost like someone taped a refrigerator box to a broom and they're just like waving it around.
Schwarzenegger, have fun. This cameo was filmed on the same day he filmed his appearance as the Terminator for the Super Bowl, and apparently it was like completely unprepared. Like, he just happened to be invited to the film, and fans and movie enthusiasts often cite his saying "have fun" as passing off the torch to another action hero of the next generation, which is kind of cool, which is kind of like what The Rock has become today.
That's neat.
Yeah, at first I was like, I was like, is this like one of those things with the guy that shows up at the bar in Django? Like, is the Rundown like a remake and the original one was Schwarzenegger? Like, I kind of didn't know for a second, and I was like, I mean, either way, it's cool. I think I kind of took it as a sign like Schwarzenegger showed up, and he is a guy who also does rundowns, and he's like, oh, good luck. There's like 6 dudes in there. Peace out. And he just fucking leaves. Like, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, if these guys must be real badasses for Schwarzenegger to be like, fuck this.
Dude, we need a rundown kind of like spin-off movie of Schwarzenegger and The Rock, and Schwarzenegger teaching The Rock about how to like take these guys down.
No, we don't. No.
Yeah,
no.
I'm down for that.
No, we don't.
I can see the budget for that movie
you
now.
Cynical asshole.
Yeah, everyone wants to see another installment of that beloved Rundown franchise.
The one that's loved by
Can't wait for them
everybody.
to come out with the next one.
So the I don't know, club owner, I don't know who this guy is. He's basically telling The Rock that the dude's drinking Jaeger and Cristal, and I'm just thinking, fuck, that's a good mix. Like, have fun waking up in the morning with that one. Jesus.
Yeah.
Beck walks into the club and breaks down the profiles of the big NFL stars. I like the sort of like the visuals here, like and the flashbacks and all the archive footage just cut in like throughout them.
Now, do you know who's an executive producer of this movie?
Who?
It's Vince McMahon. Big. I mean, he's
That doesn't surprise me.
All of the football stuff, all the footage is from his XFL league, like that he did in the '90s and stuff. And I was
cool.
like, I was like, wow, and he's like, yeah, Ohio State. And I'm like, that guy looks like he's playing for the fucking Ravens. Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh wait, these aren't real. I mean, they are real teams, but it was like just a bullshit XFL thing that ran in like the '90s or whatever.
I'm not gonna lie. When we got to this football part, I thought Colin was gonna be like, football stuff, blah blah blah. Who cares? And you just spit off like a 2-minute fact about football stuff in this movie.
I don't know much, but what I do know is I was like, dude, those aren't real teams. I was like, there's no fucking way.
So just quickly, like, remember how I said I was excited for The Rock to star in a movie, even though I hadn't seen any wrestling at all?
I've literally never heard you say that before, once.
Well, I'm saying that now. But so I remember that happened again a few years later with John Cena in the movie called The Marine. And
I've heard about that.
I love that movie as a kid, but it is garbage. Like, if you watch it today, it is garbage. It's also got, what's his name? The fucking guy who plays T-1000 in Terminator 2. He's the villain. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Beck's target is Brian Knapmiller. I love how polite Beck is here. Like, he's just like, excuse me, I'm going to need, like, he's just like, he comes, he's very polite. And this is The Rock. Like, this is The
pretty
Rock.
believable. believable.
Right. In 16 years, The Rock hasn't really changed the characters that he plays. Like, he's always kind of like this polite, nice guy, charming and very charismatic.
Yeah, like it kind of reminded me of Roadhouse, honestly. Like I don't know, I don't know. 90% of the people, like, I was like, oh no, I don't. I've never seen Roadhouse. I know Roadhouse, but I've never seen it. Like, that's a big thing where he's like, you know, hey, well, what if somebody tells my mom that she's calls my mom a fucking whore? He's like, well, you asked him to leave, but you be nice. Like, he's always like, you know, until you have to cross that line, you don't cross that line. That is like your fallback. That is not something that is not your go-to plan. You be nice. I'm like, damn, that's cool. It always shows like professionalism, even between these people, these mythical creatures of barroom brawls and stuff.
Of course,
mythical creatures of barroom brawls.
Ballroom dancing.
Mythical creatures of ballroom dancing.
Nat Miller thinks he's there for an autograph, and like Beck just like accepts it. Like, he's just so polite.
Yeah, but then he doesn't leave, and he's like, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, Beck breaks it down for Nat Miller. He reminds him that he made some wages about two or 3 months back. He owes $50,000. And for an NFL star, is that a lot? I don't think that's a lot, right? Like,
yeah, I'm like, I don't know
what's famous.
Yeah, like I don't know what the average salary was in like 2002, 2003. I know what they're making now, but I mean, $50,000. Like, dude, you don't have 50 grand. You can't go home and like just sell a car that one of the 5 that you probably own. Like, come on, dude.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Nat Miller puts down $1,000 and tells Beck to tell his employee that he'll pay him on Monday and not to send anyone else. And Beck says he needs collateral. He needs the ring. And Nat Miller just fucking throws champagne in Beck's face. In the bathroom, Beck makes a call to his employer, Billy. The entire offensive line is here. They've got a legitimate shot of repeating this shit. I do not want to hurt them.
I legitimately laughed last night when he said that, because I didn't connect that when I was younger, that it was as if they were just rooting for that team as well. That's pretty fucking funny. They were real legit chances here.
It's clever. Like, it's just this kind of like, you haven't showed what this guy's capable of yet, but you're in your dialogue, you're setting up like how fucking of a badass he is. It's awesome.
Yeah. His concern isn't, I don't think I'm going to be able to take him down. His concern is, I think I'm going to have to watch all my replacements on the bench play this season if I beat this fucking team up.
Right. That gives Nat Miller 2 choices. Option A, give him the ring, and option B, he'll make him give him the ring. So this becomes a thing throughout the movie. I think it happens maybe one time too many. I kind of get over it by the end.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I mean, it's like, it shows him on the plane, like going from wherever this city is just down to the first airport, and the attendant is like, he's like, option A, you give me the peanuts in the water. Option B, you come back with a cart that has some food on it.
But sir, it's not lunchtime yet. I don't care.
Really shows option A. Just
I really hate to hear that, Clarence.
Out of her.
punches the cart really hard, and it punches her all the way back through the pilot.
Puts her head through the fucking window, and the plane depressurizes.
Boom! Final destination.
Christopher Walken's in there, and he's like, refrigerator.
He's like, oh fuck, this gold watch is causing me discomfort. It's a 14-hour flight.
There's a big refrigerator that punched a lady up there. Somebody stop him.
Stop it. Two mice fall into a bucket of cream.
So a fake wrestler happens to take on an entire actual bodybuilding NFL linebacker team.
Right. Beck beats the shit out of these guys, man. Like, he strips the gun. Like, that'll come back later. Like, we'll find out why he strips the gun and he doesn't use it. And I love his work with the DJ deck.
Yeah.
Like,
not plugged in anymore, but we still get the record scratch.
Yeah. Like, it's a cool fight. I mean, like, there's not really that much to talk about. It's a fight scene. Like, but by the way, The Rock does not win this in real life.
No.
Like, there's no fucking way.
No.
Like, did you hear that guy's voice before? You're right now. Like, seriously, like that voice. The deeper his voice is, the bigger his dick is, and he can like whip you in the fucking face. he'll choke you out with that thing.
It almost seems like his hand was talking when that noise came out. Like, that's how fucking big he is.
He sounds like straight up Michael Clark Duncan. He's like, I'm tired, boss.
Right.
I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, his voice was so fucking deep. And I was like, the funny part is, what I don't understand, this team is like going to bat for the quarterback. They'd be like, okay, well, after the first two guys, at what point do you go, hey, you know what? Can you just fucking give him his money? Like, obviously, yeah, like, this guy's beating the shit out of us and all of our friends. He's making us look like a bunch of fucking pussies. Like, here in this bar in front of all these
public.
people.
You know, afterwards, I bet all the teammates were like, hey, did he ask you for money earlier? Because I heard he's in deep, you know, and they all like, what a dick. Why do we defend him?
Oh, you know what? Now just give him the fucking ring. Like,
You didn't
seriously.
earn it anyway. You were on the bench the whole time.
Yeah, so
I don't know if that's true, by the way. I don't know if that's true. Someone comments on this later. By the way, his track record was... I don't care.
I don't care.
You're
It's
only-
sports.
He's like, you're only playing because your dad's the coach.
So this is the first time that I'd ever seen a beanbag gun, and I was honestly like, that's badass. But why did you stop to write that down before you got inside your truck? Early 2000s movie?
So yeah, like Beck gets beanbag. Oh, by the way, I do like the way they set up Beck with the retrieval expert. Like they'd make his own profile. That's cool.
Right.
But yeah, Beck gets beanbag by a guy with a terrible Australian accent. Like, do these assholes think we say mate in every fucking sentence? Like,
Wait, that wasn't an Australian? All Americans watch this film to base how we need to learn Australian dialect.
you know what? He was probably from New Zealand. Like he had a sheep in the fucking back seat.
So
You know what I don't understand?
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
No,
go ahead.
you go ahead.
No.
Oh my god! Someone go!
This is what we always fucking do. Like if Danny and I had, all right, I'm going left. Okay, we would both go fucking left. No, the thing that kills me is like, why don't you just send this guy in the first place? Why do you need to send the Rock? Like, wait till they come out of the club. They're fucked up. He can that little Australian ginger fuck can just run up and shove that guy. Like,
Dude.
just give him a good shove while he's fucking hammered. Like, no, he walks out with like the fucking grenade launcher from GoldenEye filled with beanbags. Starts shoots him twice. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, this guy's got like two lines, and in both the lines is mate. Like that's still fucking mate.
Mate, you okay, mate? What's up, mate?
Fuck.
So, if we could rewrite this movie 16 years later and we're taking notes on this progressively through, what if, okay, just hear me out, guys, but what if this is the total other way around? All the football players come out of the club, and the guy with the grenade launcher has a badass fight sequence where he beanbags the shit out of all of them, and then The Rock comes up and just punches him in the throat and takes the ring, and it's like, Beck. And then, like, it's a different twist on his character.
Yeah.
There's another 15 minutes onto this. I mean, I guess if they're going to have the 45 minutes them falling down a hill, they need to cut the time down on that and put in this cool scene.
Or the 30-minute humping of the baboon.
Jesus Christ. We're going to skip that. Okay, so as he goes back to this crime boss's house, and Billy's house, there's only a couple guys in there, and he just took down an entire NFL team. How come he can't take down this old guy in a kitchen and his two lazy bodyguards?
I'm assuming maybe he's got like a couple of like maybe he's got this moral thing as well. Like he's like, oh, I want my slate clean and shit like that. I don't know. I feel like there's kind of a justification here, like because you know Beck is kind of shown to be this moral guy who kind of like follows through with things. Like when Travis offers him money later, like double or triple, like he's just like no, I'm gonna do this. Like you know he follows through.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, Billy seems connected. You know, it's like, well, if I disappear, you're probably gonna disappear too.
Right, exactly. Which is why I don't really get the end of this movie. But anyway, Billy offers one job. Oh, sorry, Beck wants out. He wants his money. He wants it now. But Billy offers him one job to wipe his slate clean, and he gives him an envelope. And inside this envelope is a photo of Steve Stifler, aka Travis Walker, his son, from a third marriage that lasted about 3 minutes. And Billy wants him retrieved from South America. But I like Billy. Like I like the guy that plays Billy. Is that sarcasm? But like he calls. Okay, so he says you do it with your monkey friends. Is that racist? Is he being racist here?
Yeah, I'm like, what do you like? Is it foreshadowing? Like, oh, monkey friends, like, haha, like later on with these monkeys. But I'm like, it's such an odd term. Like I mean, because what is this movie rated? Like PG-13?
PG-13
or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could be you and your jerk off friends, blah blah blah. And I'm like, why does he say monkey? That's so weird. He's like a fucking Samoan.
Yeah, I thought he was being racist because of his like semi-dark skin.
I never picked up on that once.
It's like the first thing I wrote. Like that's the first thing that came in my head. But anyway, then we cut over to this plane, and seriously, it's this kind of like a helicopter / drone shot. I'm assuming it's a helicopter because 2003. But we eclipsed this peak twice. There's 2 shots in this movie where it like has this same peak, and I guarantee you, man, half of this movie is shots of peaks and forests and shit. Like it's fucking this. I'm telling you, if you take all that out of it and the humping monkey, this movie's 5 minutes long.
Well, I often forget that they're in the jungle.
Name, Humping Monkey.
That sounds like a band name.
I know, right?
Welcome to the porno.
Yeah. Beck sees that there's duct tape holding the wing panels together, and the plane's being flown by Declan, played by Ewan Bremner from Wonder Woman. Walk by faith, not by sight.
Not what I want to hear down in South America.
I still
on a fucking plane.
For some reason, like I still quote this to my brother, like just this. Well, we can't learn no. There's booze on the ground.
Have either of you guys seen Trainspotting?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, it's fucking dark. It's dark as fuck. I mean, it's dude. He is incredible. Like he goes to a job review and he's fucking hopped up on like cocaine or speed. But it is like, dude. I mean, I can pick apart languages that are not English better than his English. Like it is fucking. He's like, like it's so fucking like, oh my god. But he like he's probably one of my favorite parts of this movie. But it's just because I was like, Trainspotting.
Yeah, for sure. Declan drives back through the jungle. He tells him about the rebels. The rebels, that's what I'm telling you. They see the slaves, and he says, that mine is the closest a man can get to the gates of hell while his heart's still beating, which is pretty cool. I do like this shot of them driving past these slaves, and Beck sees these poor, disheveled bastards, man.
Yeah, they have the look of drones.
Yeah, this movie's not that deep, but that's kind of deep. I dig that.
Definitely fucked up.
And Declan warns him to stay out of the jungle, and you get that cool Hell Dorado sign, which, by the way, was apparently what this movie was going to be titled originally.
Hell Dorado?
Yeah. Terrible title, I think.
It would have sounded like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Horror.
Yeah, horror. We meet Travis, played by Sean William Scott. He gives the flowers to the always beautiful Mariana, played by... the always beautiful Rosario Dawson, who plays Mariana. By the way, you all should watch the movie called Trance, if you haven't seen it.
Never heard of it.
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, well...
What's it about?
I can't remember, but it's directed by Danny Boyle, but you see everything of Rosario Dawson.
Dude, I mean,
creepy.
Like, if you've ever seen Sin City, like, I was like 15 when that came out, and I had all the little boy boners for Rosario Dawson.
For me, it was Jessica Alba for that. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Well, the hilarious part of this is, like, okay, you look at, like, The Rock, and then you see, we're talking about Scorpion King, and they're like, hey, so what are you, like, Middle Eastern or something? He's like, no, man, I'm Samoan. They're like, nah, you're Middle Eastern. You're Scorpion King. And then you look at Rosario Dawson, you're like, hey, what are you, like, South American or something? What are you, Brazilian? She's like, no, I'm mixed. Nah, you're Brazilian. I was like, what the fuck, man? That is so funny. Like,
that's awesome.
You're not I mean, come on, dude. Like, it's nowadays, there's no way that this type of casting would happen. Like, even Ernie Reyes Jr., I'm like 90% sure that guy's Filipino, like the leader of the guy that he has the hand-to-hand fight with and stuff. I was like, that guy's not Brazilian. I was like, it's just so weird. Like unless you're like Chinese or American, they're like, we can't tell a difference. Fucking just throw them in there.
Just use the accent. They'll believe you.
Yeah, I'm Egyptian.
Okay. Sounds Egyptian to me.
Your homework is to watch Highlander, Danny.
And I'm writing that down on a piece of paper. Oh shit, it fell in the trash. I'll get that later.
That's all right, you can get it later. Mariana knows Travis wants something, and she's right. He wants to borrow her uncle's boat to find the Gato de Diablo, or El Diablo, whatever the fuck. It's a piece of gold. Like, come on, just whatever.
Treasure hunt.
Yeah. She wants a percentage, and they settle on 50%. That's massive. And she wants to come. And Then we get a shot of Beck walking into the main compound. He's being watched. Declan asks Harvey. Harvey's a funny character. I'll talk about him later.
Yeah,
to see his brother. Harvey wants to know where he's from, and Declan replies that he's American. And we see Hatch's eyes perk up. Love that shot of his eye.
Now Declan is the brother, right? That's the bald guy with the shit on his nose.
No, Declan's the Scottish pilot. The brother's Harvey.
Oh, so yeah, the brother's Harvey. You know who Harvey is? It's fucking Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Dude, he's the fucking Wolfman in Monster Squad, dude. I was like, holy shit.
Monster Squad. You've mentioned Monster Squad so many fucking times in this podcast.
Jeez, just like the Megan Venom.
I know.
Dude, I have no problem admitting that. Monster Squad, like, that'll be on my deathbed. I'd be like, what do you want to do? I'd be like, let's pod Monster Squad.
Have you guys seen Monster Squad and In the Mouth of Madness?
Oh, God. That should just be like my Tinder profile. That would be my Tinder bio.
That's your opening. That's your opening line.
Oh, God.
We find out Beck doesn't like guns, and we get a quick shot of their armory. These guys are armed to the teeth.
They basically have like an entire county worth of an excavation site behind that building.
Right, exactly. There's a dispute at the gold payment cage, and a slave runs off with the gold. He's stopped and whipped with the whip slicing his fingers. Ow, like Jesus. Never met an American who didn't like guns. That's dated as fuck. There's a lot of Americans that don't like guns these days. But
yeah, for sure.
I just love like Walken's like kind of like first line. Tell them to dig harder.
That's that. There you go. That's the answer.
That's always a solution, right?
Did you hear what he said today? He said dig harder. Oh,
that's the key. That's the key to it. All right.
Oh, jeez. No more lugging sand humps up the hill.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
we'll just.
I guess I shouldn't
let
this broken. I guess I shouldn't let this broken leg get in my way anymore. Oh wow, I didn't know you just wanted me at 110%.
Did anybody fix the crane yet? We're still carrying stuff up ladders.
Oh man, I was digging softly. Now you want me to go harder? That's the key. All right, cool.
The thing that cracks me up is like I can't imagine them at a staff meeting and he's like, "You guys, you're not pushing yourselves." And my dad, he had this watch up his ass. Now,
dude.
Again, he's going on with the ass watch.
Dude, we'll get to it, but that's why I love that scene later when he's talking about the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. Well, dude, I love for one thing this like Mad Max Fury Road to Morton Joe fucking people that he has like when he looks over, you know, this pit and like all these people coming out. I'm like, dude, this is like a small country.
You're right.
Like there are so many fucking people, dude. I was like, that's like, I mean, it's almost like unbelievable. I was like, dude, that is a lot of shit, man. Like it's a huge operation. Like, but it just cracked me up. Like I thought at any moment he was just gonna put on like a gas mask and pour water over the ground and shit. Like I was like, oh, what is this? Like Fury Road 2? This is weird. They took this in a weird direction.
Hatcher, we found out that Hatcher allowed Travis into his town for a quote fair 60% of anything he finds. And I love Beck's line, when I'm a guest in another man's house, I don't reach into his refrigerator without asking his permission. And it's just like, does that look like a refrigerator to you? And then we get I see the value of keeping your eye on the ball. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to love it, like his pronunciation of ball. The ball. Massive excavation operation. And Hatcher wants 10 grand for Travis.
Right. Yeah, he gives it to him.
Yeah. Well, Beck pays Declan $1,000 to take the Jeep and lets him know he'll be coming back fast.
I know. He stops. He's like, and Declan, I'll be coming back fast. Well, I wasn't expecting it any other way.
Is Declan just chilling here the entire fucking movie?
That's literally the best job ever. Getting a plane, duct tape together.
Yeah, but only $1,000 for a Jeep that ends up at the bottom of the river, right? Like that's
he wasn't anticipating that. He was just anticipating borrowing the Jeep. That's why he goes $1,000 to borrow it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's like it ends up at the bottom of the river.
But
like,
he wasn't anticipating it. He was expecting coming back fast. Weren't you listening to him?
No,
he's not expecting to come back.
Like you said, it's a good job. But like, I mean, he lost like easily like $7 grand on that Jeep when he gave him only $1 grand to take that Jeep.
$7,000. I'll give you 3.5 for it. I mean, I'm not gonna give you fucking $7,000.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. And I'm talking Australian fucking bucks, man. Like, we're broke over here.
Australia bucks. Wow.
Well, the part that cracks me up is like I could imagine if Declan was like Pirate Dave from Dodgeball. Like he goes back to the car and he's like, oh god, I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Like he has no accent. He's just like an imposter. He's like, I don't even know how to fly a fucking plane. We barely made it here.
He's just like, yeah.
Somebody comes around the corner like, hey Declan, no.
Yeah. That's, you know what? I was like, oh, is he putting on this accent? But I'm like, no, I've seen this guy in movies before. He's definitely Scottish, but I don't know if
He's
it's
Scottish
this heavy.
as fuck.
Yeah, I don't think it's this heavy though.
It turns out in an interview he's Canadian.
Yeah, it is kind of heavy, I will say, but no, it's definitely put on. But
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys if you noticed something. If I can move us ahead, like just a second, like like we go into this bar, and did anybody catch? And most of the time I've got to go on like IMDb, and there's some fucking asshole who's like, hey, right here you can see the boom operator shadow in the corner of the glass, and I'm like, dude, I don't fucking care. But you're watching, like, the editing is so weird on this movie because they do like when he walks in and he sees all the guns, and when he sees all the NFL players, like it's very like and it's like showing all these crazy like cuts and stuff, and it's really well edited. And then when I watch this, he comes in, he takes his sunglasses off, puts them in his pocket. When the camera pans back and or the next cut is farther back into the room, he's literally pocketing his sunglasses for a second time. I'm like, dude, that is
continuity.
That is so fucking sloppy. I know, like, I'm not a guy who picks like that hard. I'm really not. I was like, that is fucking sloppy, dude.
I am, and now I'll never not notice that.
Well, and not to skip another too far ahead, but like Rosario Dawson's drinking this orange juice. It's like, and I'm looking at that orange juice. I'm like, that looks fucking tasty. She's got maybe like a sip or two left. Goes right back behind the bar, and the next time she's chugging on, it's like fucking halfway full. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you're like Queen of the Amazon and an orange juice fairy? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I don't understand these. Like, you're hot and you're like some type of mythical creature. I mean, I'm okay with it, but I'm just saying I wasn't expecting all of this.
Yeah. Well, like the way they avoid things like that is they usually have like people on set that like look up the continuity stuff. Like that's their job to notice that shit. But
set director. It might be what that is.
I guess those assholes just fell asleep or whatever. But yeah, like you said, Colin, Beck walks into the bar. Mariana immediately picks up that he's American, and they have a little back and forth. And Beck says, I'm looking for a man. His name's Travis Walker. Brown hair, 20s. Right now, he's got a real bewildered look on his face.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny.
And Beck offers him the old option A and option B. Travis, being the smartass that he is, says he wants to go for option C. Travis, there is no option C.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. And Travis makes a move. Fucking, this is actually kind of brutal. Like, just smashes the glass. And he gets his ass beat and handcuffed. Like, what did you think was going to happen, Travis?
Yeah.
Have you seen this guy?
He's huge.
He's fucking...
it's that mentality where you think that it's like just because you can think you can catch him off guard is going to get you somewhere, but doesn't get him anywhere.
Absolutely. Hatcher and his goons walk in. Let me introduce you to option C. And Hatcher wants the kid to stay, even though Beck paid him $10,000. And he wants him to stay because Travis found the location of the gato, and Hatcher wants him to lead him to it.
Right.
And then you get this whole, what's that, asshole? Did you find it or not, asshole? Okay, fine. This goes on for a while, doesn't it? But I love like there's two lines here from Walken that always made me laugh as a kid. Hey, don't rock the boat.
I knew it.
And then don't make waves.
Yeah. So, like, how many other analogies can you use? Like, what other things could pop up in the scenario that he could find a way to relate to a boat rocking around? Like, the little guy goes running by and he's like, take care of your crewmates.
Yeah, he's like, hey, grab an oar because we're in the same boat.
Like, exactly. Like, and you know what? It's more jarring because they're both like in the span of 30 seconds. Like, it's just so like they're like right next to each other, and it's just weird.
I was thinking, I was like, oh, how many more of these are there? After he kept saying it, like, hey, let's set sail on a deal. Where are you gonna end?
Beck dives behind the pool tables while the goons start firing. Okay, so there are a lot of wrestling moves in this movie, and this is obviously to cash in on the fact that The Rock is still a champ, right? Like,
Right.
this is one of those things. Like, he doesn't do this much anymore, but
This is
back
the
in
day where on set Peter Berg was like, "Okay, Dwayne, you're just gonna, do whatever you do in wrestling, and we'll work around you."
Right, but like Colin, you said you like Walking Tall. I do love Walking Tall as well, but he does the wrestling moves in that as well. Like, it's a thing. Like,
sure.
Right, yeah, they were like, all right, we're going to let you do movies, but like, hey guys, I'm a movie star. Nah, you're a wrestler. You're a wrestler.
Good one, Dwayne.
You're a fucking wrestler.
Good
He's
one,
like, hey
The
guys,
Rock. Your name's not Dwayne.
Yeah, you're not Dwayne Johnson.
He's like, hey guys, I'm going to retire from acting. I'm going to be a children's author. I think I might run for Senate. Nah, you're an actor.
And then you come in at the last minute in the ring and knock him out. Yeah.
He's like, guys, I'm blind and I've had diabetes for 20 years. So like, nah,
my
you're The Rock.
Like the camera pans over in this bar and there's a fucking ladder with a belt on top of it and he's gonna get to it. Like the roof comes off and they're in a cage. Oh man. But yeah, a lot of wrestling moves. I love the gun in the dude's mouth as he gets up and points the gun at Hatcher. Like, it's a cool shot.
Yeah.
And he slides the mag to trip Travis. And then whips.
Yeah.
Whips. I do love the whip play in this movie. Beck catches it. By the way, you don't catch that. Like, your hands. See ya.
It would slice it in half.
Yeah,
If it
goodbye.
sliced a fucking table in half, what makes him think his bones?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right. Beck catches it, but the dude's got another one. Like, this guy's just full of surprises.
I know. He pulls out a third one. The Scottish guy's outside, and he's got one.
Right. He even gets a cool line. You should have kept the gun.
Should have kept the gun. Not a bad line. A little bit better than some of the other lines. It was okay.
But I do love the shot of the chair being split apart. It's pretty cool. And Beck and Travis get away. They drive through the jungle. I hope you enjoy the fall.
And we'll get to that. Sorry, real quick. But that, like, some of these don't feel like a Peter Berg movie, and that scene is like doesn't feel like a very like Peter Berg kind of scene, considering all the other things that I've seen of his. That really cool arcing shot, panning, almost kind of like going with the table at a little bit of a speed, and then it could get sliced in half. It is actually pretty cool. Like, when I saw it again, I was like, damn, pretty nice, pretty cool shot to think about.
Well, this entire movie is kind of an anomaly in Peter Berg's sort of like filmography. So between this and Battleship, it's like he was trying to make more of like a crowd pleaser movie. But if you watch movies like Deepwater Horizon or Patriots Day...
Yeah, we just watched that about a month ago.
Yeah, well, I definitely recommend Patriots Day and Lone Survivor. They're both very heavy movies, but it's weird because these two movies, Battleship and Welcome to The Rundown.
Thank you.
They're just kind of like anomalies, and yeah, I don't know. I guess he was just like, I want to make a crowd pleaser, but he's also a big like Friday Night Lights director as well. So
I will allow Welcome to the Jungle, but every time you say it, you have to go, Welcome to the Jungle.
We got fun games.
Yeah. You have to say it that way
I'm
every
not
time.
doing that. The only time I'll ever do that is if it's an AC/DC song. Like, if we cover a movie called Thunderstruck, I'm good. I'll
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the fall. The Jeep goes over the cliff, and the boys fall for ages. Holy shit, man! But like, honestly, like the stunt work, like it, because they don't look like dummies. Like it looks like stuntmen.
The stuntman for The Rock is actually his cousin. I was reading.
Damn.
Yeah, so
the
they were
stuntman
like,
for Sean William Scott had to have been the guy that used to do the Carrot Top. That guy has like red hair that's rolling down that fucking hill for Sean William Scott.
yeah. Well, it cracks me up. They fucking looked at The Rock's cousin. They're like, "Are you The Rock?" He's like, "No, my name's Nah. You're The Rock.
You're The Rock. You fucking
You're
kidding, mate?
You know wrestling.
You're The Rock."
Yeah.
What's your wrestling name? You wrestle.
These guys have internal bleeding, hemorrhaging.
No,
for
they
sure.
don't.
The second they go over this fucking cliff, and I'm seeing all the tops of these trees, and I'm like, what if Sean William Scott's like, God, just gets fucking impaled? Like it's like Michael Cera, and this is the end. He's like, oh, this is really embarrassing, like bleeding out of his mouth. Because I'm like, dude, there's no way. Like, you know, this reminds me of is a movie called Hot Rod with Andy Samberg.
Oh, I've been wanting to see that.
Dude, there is a scene of him just like falling down this hill, and it is the funny part is it's about the same amount of length of time as this, but it's done like super like ironically, like it knows, you know, what it's supposed to be doing. It's making fun of like shit, but just him falling for like fucking 20 minutes. And man, I was like, I couldn't fucking breathe. Like, I thought I was gonna throw up. I was laughing so hard because it just keeps fucking going. And then I start watching this later, like I couldn't fucking breathe, dude.
It's crazy.
For so long they fought. Like I want to think that like they died and like the rest of it is kind of like a what if situation. But yeah.
Like Lost.
Yeah. Don't ruin it. It's 10. That's fucking 7 seasons.
But you know,
I've seen it. I mean, not for me. I've seen it.
I mean, like, how long is it going to be until it's not spoiler alert anymore? Come on.
That's true. These guys have internal bleeding, hemorrhaging, and they land in the river. I don't even want to like. That's a fact. I'm not even going to like glaze past that.
So the rest of this is definitely fictional.
Right. But dude, you know where they really die? When the fucking Jeep comes screaming after them. Like they just dive like a couple meters. No. Right. You're dead. See ya.
Yeah. It's rolling one way in one scene, and then the other one, it's flying towards them, some wacky amusement park ride.
Right. Exactly.
How the fuck did they get to the bottom of this thing before the car?
Good question.
I
think the car got caught up on more stuff. Maybe the car.
I guess so.
There's an extended version of this movie where you watch the car fall too.
And did the car like follow like the exact path?
And the car was like Plinko in The Price is Right.
I would love to see us like the extended scene of like it's the car hanging from a cliff, but it's holding it by like a tire and it's like sweating. It's like
it keeps zooming in on the rim and it keeps zooming in on the twig. It keeps zooming in on the rim.
It's like that scene in The Lost World, like Jurassic Park with the trailer. Like it's just like
Jesus
over the fucking
Christ. It just never moves along.
Yeah. Travis recovers and uncuffs himself, but Beck catches up to him. I love Travis. Good God.
Good reaction. My thoughts exactly.
Yeah.
But they get a little bit farther in the jungle. Yeah, the Christopher Walken and his team, I forget his name, they show up and then that guy like very cheesily just unloads his pistol into the jungle. He was like, Frank, the fuck's that for? Really?
Oh no, wait, that scene's after. Like that scene's after the thunder and lightning scene.
Are you sure?
You know? Yeah. Don't fuck with me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because Travis recovers and uncuffs himself, but Beck catches up to him and he's like, good God. And then like they do this thing where he's like, eyeball your woman. And then like and then like you got the thunder and lightning thing. It's pretty fucking stupid.
Yeah. But I like the quick punches.
Yeah.
When we skipped right over it, I was like, I don't even give a fuck because I hate it, dude.
I loved it as a kid. I can tell you that much. I remember walking out of the cinema and laughing about it.
I didn't think it was funny back then. I think it's just a nice camera quips. The camera changes in the sound of Sean Wayne's got his reaction to getting hit by him is funny.
Yeah. I was like, Beck surprisingly subdues him. Fucking surprised.
I thought that's where the movie twisted, but I was wrong.
And Travis tells Beck about the gateau, forged out of pure gold, worth millions. And I love Beck. Thought you said it was priceless.
Yeah.
And then we get that scene about Hatcher pumping up his guys. And I'm just like, settle down, Harvey, just firing at the jungle. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, like, later is he going to be like, hey, did you see Harvey earlier? He's shit in the jungle. Yeah, he's such a badass.
It's like, can you imagine if he, like, one of these, like, 6 bullets hits both of them?
Did you guys hear that?
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and all these badass dudes, show up on a cliff, and they're just like, yeah, and he starts shooting into the jungle, and they're like, yeah, fucking take that, and just like, if some kid walked up from behind a tree with like a bullet, they'd be like, oh, dude, like they all looking at him like,
and then John Williams Scott's like, dude. Welcome to the jungle.
I was like, I just wanted to see him do something, and all these big badass guys be like, dude, you shot a nun. What the fuck? Like, what the fuck is a nun doing in the forest?
It's the Scottish guy somehow. Oh, did that hurt?
Yeah. I feel like a little boy who's lost his first tooth. He goes on this like, do you understand the concept of the tooth fairy?
I want my tooth back.
I love how he's like explained it to them, and then he's just like interrupts. He's like, she takes the goddamn thing and gives you a quarter.
Yeah. But to be fair, that's gonna be hard for a translator because he's like, translate this for me. Yes, sir. All right. And then like 3 minutes later, he's like, all right, translate all that. He's like,
I don't even remember.
Yeah. He talks for fucking ever.
Yeah, he does. Beck asks Travis about the gun. Beck asks Travis about the gun thing. They take him to a place he doesn't want to see him go. Okay, fine. Do I look like Santa Claus? Beck thinks Travis is like every other jackass he's taken down. I don't give breaks. No breaks. Okay.
Ooh, Santa Claus doesn't give breaks.
Yeah.
I did like that line. I was like, that's kind of funny. But there's something, every time I look at Sean William Scott, I'm like, I could just hit him in the face with a wrench. He's fucking annoying, dude.
Most punchable face.
I want to break your fucking nose with like a fucking socket wrench. Like,
That's why he's like the perfect like casting for Stifler, because like Stifler's just so overconfident and like smug.
Now I will say Sean William Scott is great in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's Mac's cousin. He's like, they call him Country Mac. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, but he's fucking great in Always Sunny.
Have you seen Old School?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
He's got a really short scene in that. He's like got a raging mullet. It's hilarious.
I remember that now.
I wrote here, these shots of the jungle, it looks like we just keep coming over the same peaks. Like, I'm just like, damn.
I again forgot they were in the jungle. I'm glad that they remind me.
I thought they were in the city.
I think they're in the San Diego Zoo. That's where I think they're at the whole time.
They're in Hawaii, by the way, in real life. There are like some quick shots of like some sort of peaks, and like it's literally that log scene from Jurassic Park where they hide under the logs. That's where that is. Wow. But Travis needs to pee. You're threatening me with pee. It's a pretty funny scene, but it's childish.
No, it's fucking, god damn it. No, it's not. I fucking hate, like, that's the thing, is like, I like the plot of this. It's cool, but the humor is just so dated, man. Like, dick jokes, really?
Yeah.
Like, dude,
you know what it is
too
for
many
me?
dick jokes.
You know what it is for me? It's like, I don't mind this, but I feel like it goes on for ages. It goes on for so long. Like,
right.
Seriously, he goes to pee, like, but he can't unzip, and it's just like, okay. And then he goes to pee, and then he's like, can't get his dick out. And I'm just like, all right, fine, we're doing this. And it seems like it goes on for ages, and I'm just like, god damn it, like, this movie's already an hour and 45, and half of that is a monkey that's about to hump him for half an hour. Jesus.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just skip the monkey part, because what really happened in the discussion scene, the discussion meeting of this writing, session was them saying, look, either Rosario Dawson can show up and change this whole scene, or, this could happen. And then they're like, or we can have a bunch of monkeys come in and do a bunch of humping right here. And for whatever reason, they all said that one. That's the best way.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lot of thinking that went onto that part of it, but whatever.
Yep. Moving along.
The Rock's like, I will have a sex scene with a monkey before I have a fucking sex scene with Rosario Dawson. That's some horrible problem with her.
Hey, the acting coach that The Rock had said, hey, look, everyone knows you don't make it big unless you have a monkey fucking scene. So nail this shit, man. Nail it. And then later he was like, I told Dwayne that he had to go fuck a monkey.
The big question I have here, okay, so this is like a thing, and I remember thinking this as a kid. So Beck steps in the trap. How the fuck did Travis get his dick back in his pants? Like, is he out the entire time?
The rest of the movie, it's out. They never pan below his belt.
No. Travis uncuffs himself and starts to make fun of Beck. Caw-caw, caw-caw. All right, fine.
Yep, shut the fuck up.
Travis sets off his own trap. Grab my back, not my ass. Then they hear the worst goddamn sound in the world. This doesn't sound like a monkey, dude. This sounds like something just escaped a fucking crypt and is about to haunt a fucking village.
This sounds like Pitch Black.
Pitch Black, yeah, for sure. Monkeys. This would be horrifying. I do like the shot of Beck upside down, and then it screams in its face.
Yeah,
that's cool. And then it just starts humping Beck's face. Okay, fine. Yep. But this goes on for way too long. Like, holy shit. And the rebels save them. And what's this actor's name again? Colin?
Ernie Reyes Jr.
Right. He plays Manito.
Do you guys want to hear something about Ernie Reyes Jr.?
Yeah, for sure.
So, and Colin knows my wife. We've all known each other for a while, but my wife she's a black belt, and she went to the Ernie Reyes World Martial Arts, their chain of schools that exists throughout the U.S.
Don't ask where Danny got his bruises from.
It's like domestic violence, but the other way.
I fell. Hey, we'll have
He's
to
like, edit that out. Please edit that out.
Edit that out later, please. No, she's a black belt. She went to the Ernie Reyes World Martial Arts to get that. It's a mixed martial arts school, and of course, him and his family are the ones that run all that. So she's actually got to meet all them. She's got pictures of this guy. Kind of neat.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah. Also,
he is a fucking badass, dude.
He is badass.
Yeah, this isn't like slowed down or sped up or anything for him punching. Like when he jumps up in the air and punches the Rock 100 times here in a second, that shit's real. Crazy as fuck.
I remember watching that scene. Well, we'll get to it, but like this entire section feels. Watching it now, it doesn't feel like it fits. It looks like a kind of like a side adventure sort of thing, but
yes,
it is still fun. Manito's their leader, and Travis tells Beck to look into his eyes. I always like this thing in movies, like, one I can't understand.
Fuck him with the unknowing person that's really trying to take it seriously.
Yeah, Manito tells them they know they work for Hatcher. I love Travis' fierce gaze.
Fierce gaze.
Travis sells Beck out, and Manito wants to fight Beck. Don't worry, the little people. Wow. Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Easy there, Sean William Scott.
Damn, son.
Better delete that tweet.
Yep. And he's fired from Marvel. Manito can grate cheese on his abs. Damn. Those things have their own fucking postcode, dude.
Dude, yeah, he is I think one of the big things he was in that I remember was like, I think it was, is it Three Ninjas? Surf Ninjas? Surf Ninjas.
Those
that's what it
posters
was.
are up in her school. That's how I knew that Ernie Reyes was even a martial art, like it was a movie related martial artist.
He was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, hey, and if you guys haven't heard us cover that episode, go check that out.
What? Are you forgetting our catalog?
This is so funny. We go in there, we search roll, and there it is. We're like, all right, now, hold on. Mandela effect. Fucking Mandela effect.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like,
the odds of us doing that are like so fucking low.
No, hell no. I would cover the Michael Bay one first.
Okay, so anyway, he gets him free to start this whole fight, and it gets into a wacky like dun, 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 with he's swinging around on these ropes.
Well, actually, you know what? Some of the fighting is actually awesome, man. I just wrote like Manito is a goddamn beast.
Crazy.
But, like, physics are ignored here. Like, we need to like establish that 100%.
Yeah.
Like when they got the ropes and they like grab Dwayne Johnson by the legs. Like, no, that like size matters. Like, even if fighting style doesn't matter, like if you don't have the skill to fight, fine, but size honestly matters. Like, why do you think
this is like a Zack Snyder like directed DC fucking fight scene? Like, it's so like he's like punching through concrete and shit, and they're fucking like he kicks one dude and the dude just goes flying for like 12 feet. I'm like, come on, man, like that's a little bit much.
Right, exactly. I mean, Mariana ends up intervening because she's a rebel leader. But I do like this thing, Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali. It's got to be Ali. I wrote before he said Ali. I'm just like, it's got to be Ali because, he's awesome. And, by the way, just quickly, Mike Tyson, it's funny because I watched this yesterday, but in the daytime, Joe Rogan did a podcast episode with Mike Tyson the other day. I recommend checking that out. It's pretty cool.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, Tyson talks about his upbringing and shit. Like, I do want to read his book, actually. It's, as divisive of a character he is, like his upbringing sounds super, super harsh and interesting at the same time. But anyway, Rumble in the Jungle.
Hey, you know what list that book made, Zoheb?
What?
Beth Teller.
Nice. Yeah, you know what? Fuck. You know what? With that podcast, I did have to hit the skip 15 seconds back thing a few times because I'm like, what did you say? What did you say? But yeah, at this moment I just wrote, rest in peace, Ali. God damn. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Mm-hmm. I love how they're all chanting, and Manito just finishes it off with ah.
Yeah, the only other way to interrupt people in real life, I do that all the time in meetings. I go ah. I think we should move this up to Wednesday.
Yeah, Manito gives his necklace to Beck because he's a great fighter, and it's for luck, and Beck will offend him if he refuses. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly one of the rebels gets shot, and Hatch's men ambush the rebels. People get shot, there's chaos. Travis tries to get away from Beck because, I mean, obviously you would, right? Mariana, Beck, and Travis take a boat, and Manito gets fucking executed by Hatcher. And I just wrote, I care so much about this character we met 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, easily favorite character of the movie. Emmy nominated.
I mean, I'm not like, oh my god, I just love this character now. I mean, it's awesome because it's Ernie Reyes, but it's kind of dark. I was like, damn, I wasn't really expecting it to go like. I mean, obviously this guy's a tyrant and he, has probably murdered several people, but to like, I was like, oh wow, I didn't expect it to really like go that deep into it. It just that adds kind of like not another dimension, but he's a little bit less than or a little bit more than two-dimensional now.
Right, well, that's one of the things. Like, this movie balances comedy and some darkness, kind of well. Like, it surprisingly does it really well. Like, I don't get the whole, like, it doesn't feel jarring, to me at least. But yeah,
and it's a good shot of him, like with the revolver.
Totally.
Like, it's kind of like a Dutch angle a little bit. I'm like, damn, dude, that looks fucking good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Totally. And Hatcher orders some small hunting parties to find him. Guys, what do you reckon about taking a break right here?
Sure.
That sounds good.
Fucking awesome. Guys, we'll be right back with more Welcome to the Jungle and The Rundown. Hey guys, it's Zoheb just breaking in the middle here. We've got a few things that we just wanted to put out there for any newcomers, or if you're not part of our growing community, maybe this could benefit you too. Firstly, we just wanted to let the newbies know about our episodes and the way Midnight Double Feature is currently structured. As you know, right now you're listening to one of our feature presentations. When we started the podcast, we basically built the show around our feature presentations. These are movies that we choose to cover and basically go through everything in the movie that's worth talking about sequentially. These episodes are generally longer, and we're definitely looking at options to spice up our feature presentations by getting guests on, very much like LSG Media's Matt Anderson in our Get Out feature presentation. We also have our upcoming attraction episodes. Typically these come out during the week and are much shorter than our feature presentations. These are hosted by Matt Vella and basically consist of a conversation between Matt and I about any movie news that's worth talking about, quick reviews of movies that are currently out in the cinemas, and other hijinks. Finally, we have our special features. These are usually one-off special episodes that are mostly experimental and don't really have any specific definition. They could be a sit-down with a cast or crew member, a conversation between the hosts, or just a straight-up different thing that might not even relate to film. Before I let you get back to the episode, I just wanted to thank our listeners and supporters. We definitely couldn't have done any of this without your guys' constant support. If, for some reason, you're not a part of our growing community, head to our socials. We've got 2 pages on Facebook, Midnight Double Feature, which is our main page and has our formal announcements, and we also have the After Party, which is where we post memes, news, and teasers of what's next to come on Midnight Double Feature. We're also on Instagram, which is at Midnight Double Feature, and Twitter, which is at MDF Pod. Thanks again for listening, guys. Back to the show. Hey guys, we're back, freshly squeezed, with The Rundown, aka Welcome to the Jungle, and we're on the boat. We got Mariana. She's fucking pissed. She orders Travis to take her to the grotto. Don't play with me or I'm going to shoot you. Jesus Christ. She argues that it means hope to the villagers. Cool, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It's just gold. But,
She's like, I had a chance to leave this area and make a modeling career, but I decided to stay.
Yeah. Beck makes a deal. She gets the grotto. Beck gets Travis, and Travis gets nothing. Mariana wonders how Beck got into the business. Beck tells her that he had a rough upbringing. He pushed so hard, word got around, and he got mixed in with the wrong crowd. And Beck assumed that they're alike, and she begs to differ. I like this conversation, and I like that she's so contrarian to what he thinks, but this doesn't really go anywhere. How are they not that much alike? Oh, I guess she's a rebel. I don't know. Fuck this movie.
It just felt like Peter Berg conflict.
Yeah. By the way, this is we get more shots of fucking peaks. Seriously.
No, this movie is just I see that we have a lot in common. Yeah, it's what? Because, she hunts people down and brings them back to people for money. Yeah, that totally it. And it's
yeah.
No, I think that somebody's just hey, you guys, what are you guys, Mexicans? They're like, no, she's black. I'm nah, you're Mexicans. You guys should get married.
It's we can make them be more alike. They have things in common.
Right, yeah. They're like, nah, you're Mexicans.
Just look at them.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely against that wall.
Oh, God.
Travis wants to go for a swim. He tells him that they're there. Mariana tells Beck not to pee into the water because parasites will swim up his pee and into his peen too. Then they'll have to amputate. Not this.
Another dick joke.
Oh, that's funny.
Not this boy's peen too.
You know who should deliver that line? Sean William Scott. Have you guys seen American Pie?
Fucking bullshit. The Rock has always been charming.
Do you guys watered down Johnny Knoxville? That's all he reminds me of. It's like
funny.
washed up Ryan Reynolds, Johnny Knoxville.
It's funny because like this has Sean William Scott, and The Rock's next movie has fucking Johnny Knoxville.
That's probably that's probably. And I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love Johnny Knoxville, dude. Like he's actually a really like interesting guy, and the shit that he did to his body is fucking insane,
dude. Fucking stepping in front of a claymore that has ball bearings, yeah.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah, but this is where I just wrote The Rock's always been charming. He's always been very charismatic. I dig him. They swim through the waterfall. This is very Indiana Jones / Tomb Raider.
It's fun.
And by the way, like when he lights the thing, it's a pretty chill response for methane buildup. Like before the explosion, I mean, like he's like, it's methane buildup. It's fine. Come on through. Like, you know, and then you get the explosion. But I love like Sean William Scott. You obviously don't know the first thing about methane deposits.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah. They arrive at a puzzle game. Fine. The logs are holding up the ceiling. They have to follow the correct tiles. The Gato being a cat, they have to follow the jaguar. Travis makes it through, but the ceiling starts to cave in. By the way, there's some bullshit CGI here.
Oh man!
Wait, you mean this isn't practical?
Dude.
This is about as practical as a submarine with screen doors. It's about as practical as it is.
This is absolute fucking dog shit. Like, this is 2003, so this is like, I feel like George Lucas came here like at the end of like fucking after just doing Attack of the Clones, and he's like, oh, look what I can do now. You guys want to see?
If the walls cave in, people tend to get real scared.
Yeah, but yeah, Jesus Christ,
that technology's not around yet, so we're gonna have to CGI the walls closing in. That's not a thing yet.
Yeah, but then like the next scene, they're fine. Like they're around a fucking campfire. Mariana gives the boys the conlabus fruit, saying it's rare. And apparently, if the Gato isn't returned to the villages, the villages will prosper. Fine, okay. Mariana thinks the money selling the Gato will help do that. Beck says he wants to open a restaurant, 10, 15 tables, nothing big. Travis starts to experience some wild shit, like fucking, you know what it reminded me of? Reminded me of in Scary Movie 3 when they're at the funeral and like she looks at the photos and there's that guy's face is all blurred out.
Yeah.
He's right over there.
He's like drinking tea with this old lady.
The guys pass out and Mariana takes the Gato and she tells Beck how to get to the airfield and tells Travis that he found the Gato. Nobody can take that away from him. Okay, fine.
Okay, thanks. Great. I guess I'll go back home.
Thanks for drugging us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she fucking Cosby's both of them.
Oh, damn.
Fucking somewhere Kevin Spacey lurks in the background.
The monkeys show back up. Oh, the monkeys do show back up.
Yeah, fine. I was like, if this monkey humps him again, I'm out. So yeah, Travis and Beck wake up to the monkey staring at them. Get out of here, monkey!
You stupid monkey!
I do. It does what they're saying. The way they're saying it on the ground. Like I was like, actually, if that were like an actual actor, if I were watching like Kevin Kline or like fucking Michael Keaton or somebody, I wouldn't think that's as funny. But because it's The Rock and he's always playing such a tough guy. I was like, it must be really hard for him to play these like silly parts at first. Be silly, like be kind of like and like he was always kind of over the top and like his wrestling persona, but like to actually sit there and act like kind of like silly, like a little kid, I feel like that would be kind of difficult for someone who has this real big tough guy persona. I don't know.
I agree.
I might be wrong. I mean, he might just be very easy with that, and the tough guy stuff might have been hard. I don't fucking know.
No. Well, I like that they're showing that he's like vulnerable. Like he's not this unstoppable fucking beast.
Yeah,
dude. Why wasn't he ever Bane? I know somebody being like, oh, The Rock is Bane. Oh my god. But like, if you put him in the hands of like, I don't know, say Christopher Nolan did something and they had fucking The Rock as Bane, and they're like, we don't want you to be The Rock. We
Can
really
you
like
smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can only imagine that. Like, but I like honestly, if you put him in, I mean, I like look at like Dave Bautista as Drax.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that's fucking Blade Runner 2049. He is great in that, dude.
I can't wait to see him in Dune with Denis Villeneuve directing.
Yeah.
If you could get The Rock to that kind of level with those directors, but I just don't think that's the stuff that he's interested in. That like he wants to do the like I know he's not in Daddy's Home with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, but like those kind of movies, other guys, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, he fell into that massive like Disney stretch where he was doing like the Tooth Fairy and shit. But you know what, man? Dwayne Johnson, he's had a few serious movies. Like, have you seen the movie called Snitch?
No, huh?
So he plays a truck driver. Like it's actually a decent thriller. I'd recommend checking it out. But lately, yeah, he has been like on that, like the whole, you know, Hercules and then fucking San Andreas and then Rampage. Like, it's been a lot of bullshit roles, but Snitch is damn good. Pain and Gain, like, okay, it's directed by Michael Bay, but like it's actually I think it's a decent movie. It's not a serious movie like Snitch, but he was in a movie called Faster as well. He does have these roles like that are like serious, but yeah, I think he does kind of want to be this big blockbuster action hero, which he does well. He does do it well.
Faster sounds like a direct-to-DVD Nicolas Cage movie.
No, it was. I remember it being decent.
When I was in the theater that came out, I was like, really? That's the name of the movie. Faster. That's it. That's the best you got. Faster.
Oh boy. They return to the airfield. Beck wants to know from Declan how soon before they can take off. And Declan's so pissed about the Jeep. And he says Hatcher found Mariana in the jungle. He relieved her of her artifact.
And
Declan lets them know that Hatch is torturing her for information. This is where I just said, show and don't tell. Like, I'm not being a sadist here. Like, he just exposits so much information here, and I'm just like, you can at least show her being captured or something. Like make sure, yeah. You could have added something to that. You
could have cut out so much of the shit with the monkeys,
right?
And just had a scene with her walking through. It's dawn. She hears a noise, stops, turns around, turns back around. There's fucking guys everywhere with guns, and there's Christopher Walken. You know, thanks, and he fucking takes it from her. I could totally see that scene playing out. Then we show her being brought to Christopher Walken and stuff, like, or whatever. You know, that's fine. But yeah, exactly. Like, why are we hearing about this instead of just show it to us? It's okay. Your movie's only like fucking 22 minutes long.
Right.
Like, you can fucking throw another scene in there.
They ambush Mariana, and fucking Christopher Walken walks up to the grotto and shoves it up his ass for safekeeping.
We stuck it the one place we could.
That's where I hid the Constitution. Nicolas
That's the
Cage.
Declaration of Independence up there.
My favorite, I just gotta say, have any of you guys ever seen The Dead Zone with Christopher Walken?
No.
Oh my god, dude, it's a Stephen King book. It's a really good Stephen King book, but he's trying to warn these people ice skating on this ice that it's gonna break and they're all gonna die or whatever.
He's like, you're in the dead zone.
Did you nearly say Stephen Cream?
No, I said Stephen. Nah. Well, I mean, I cream for King, but no, not quite. No, what is so funny is he walks with a cane and he smacks this shit off a table, and he gets everybody's attention. He goes, "The ice is gonna break."
That's awesome.
It is the funniest fucking thing I have ever seen. Like, and I strongly suggest either checking out the book or the movie. It's one of my favorite Walken things. But dude, it is really fucking funny. It is hilarious. Yeah. They turned it into a TV show somehow. They turned like a 300-page book into a fucking 6-season TV show. I'm like, all right, whatever.
It's like The Hobbit. So Beck cuffs Travis to a post and wants to go and rescue Mariana. Travis wants to help Beck, but he'd rather he's saying he'd rather die than see Hatcher have the grotto. Don't bring me into it. I got a dodgy knee here.
Oh, thanks for reminding us. You only open every scene with you in it by looking at your fucking knee.
I know, but I love his delivery.
They're Scottish and their dodgy knees.
I love his delivery. But you want to hear the worst line in this movie? It happens right here.
No, it's right here. Listen to it.
Now, don't give me any argument. The ice is gonna break.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious, dude.
Deleted scenes.
But no, the worst line, we're both going to be dead in about an hour, so let's cancel Christmas. Wow. That's a doozy.
Sorry, guys. I gotta stop doing the podcast. I just got fucking Parkinson's. I don't know what happened. Oh, God. I got MS. I'm sorry, guys.
Fucking... It's so bad. It's so bad. Then we get to Hatch's compound.
Do you think like later he was like, "Hey, remember earlier when we didn't think we were gonna make it?" And you were like, "Yeah, we better cancel Christmas." Like,
we get to Hatch's compound. Enlighten me.
What?
Nobody's
He's
answering from Outpost 1. Beck offers Hatcher terms. Option A, leave the Gato and let the girl walk out of town. Option B, Beck makes him. Hatcher and his boys just laugh and basically, lock down the town. I do like that. Lock down the town.
Dude, it cracks me up because he's like, I'm coming for you, and I'm blah, 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 and I'm doing this, and then he punches the camera, and they're like,
Yeah.
that
scares
broke our
us.
camera.
Well, let's. He broke a $12 camera, guys. Let's take him seriously now.
Remember
It's
that one guy that
disrespect.
showed up that broke the camera?
So they lock down the town and they, assemble their posse, getting ready for Beck. Can we just address why is Harvey playing the harmonica?
What else do you do before you take off?
Maybe doing nervous shit or something. Like, why are you playing the harmonica?
Did anybody notice what he's wearing around his neck?
No, I missed it.
Now Harvey, that's
the brother.
his brother,
Scorpion?
right? Yeah, that's the same thing that fucking The Rock wears in the Scorpion
You're
King. I swear to
fucking
God,
kidding me.
I saw
swear to
that
God, I
earlier
read
when
that
he
on,
was
like,
shooting into
IMDb
the
or something.
forest.
Dude, I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. Because what did you say? This was a year before or after?
After, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, dude, I mean, is that like a very unsubtle nod? Like, what the fuck?
The Rock's
not?
I nicked this from the set. Can you wear it? He's just like sniggering. Can you wear it, please? It'll be funny.
Want to be cool? Be
like,
so
hey,
meta.
Yeah.
I fucking bullied the guy I fucking bullied the old asshole who used to be the werewolf on Monster Squad to wear my fucking necklace. He's like, hey, so yeah, I need you to wear this. It's got some, we got some DVD sales coming out right now, and I need to promote it a little bit more. He's like, nah, man, I really don't want to wear it. He's like, nah, you're gonna wear the fucking necklace, or I'm gonna break your arms.
All is quiet. Declan walks in playing the bagpipes. This sounds like a cat being dragged under a fucking lawnmower. Jesus.
Oh, you want your fucking mouth? Because I fucking love the sound of bagpipes.
Shut up,
fucking
Declan. My
ass.
skirt, you pansy.
Shut your mouth, you cunt.
Every
it's
town-wide
cunt.
fight has started with a solo.
Ah, yes. The bull rush is cool. I like that. And this is basically the start of this massive showdown, right? So lots of slow-mo fighting and twirling and shit. Like, all right, fine. Beck beats some ass. Travis fights a guy in a store and does the thunder and lightning bullshit. Fuck off!
Yeah,
with this shit.
starts throwing some fruits at him. Like, I'm surprised this guy just put up with this shit. Like, he just didn't take a gun out and shoot him.
Right, exactly.
Well, and this is, I mean, all this fighting and stuff. This is taking place after the cows are unleashed onto the town, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why don't you just shoot the cows? Like, you murder people. Like, you literally you'll shoot people in the forest in the middle of the night with Dutch angles all over your ass. But like, you won't shoot a fucking cow. Like, you see how many? Like, I mean, I'm not advocating about killing animals.
It
I'm really
sort of
not.
sounds
but,
like you are.
I mean, I kind of
does.
am, but like, if I'm Christopher Walken and my brother is the werewolf from Monster Squad, and we shoot people, we shoot people all the time. We kill people. We have fucking third world like dungeon slavery quality lifestyle here for these people that pick our gold. But like, one person shot a cow and everyone was just like, whoa, Dave, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like everybody got.
Well, you know what
pissed off.
it is. You know what it is. They just, I mean, I get where they're coming from though. Like, if they start shooting these cows, I mean, then they don't get any beef. Like,
Whoa!
fucking dinner
Who
time.
shot-
What is supposed to be
Who shot
veggies?
my cows?
Jeez. we totally didn't leave room for a sequel that way.
No.
It's like, how are they going to deal with the existential crisis of the cows not being there anymore?
Oh, also the necklace that so the necklace that the werewolf from Monster Squad is wearing. I'm just gonna keep calling him that.
Fuck, if you say
it's
Monster
for-
Squad one more goddamn time.
John Grease's character is wearing a scorpion necklace. It is the same as the one that Memnon wears in the Scorpion King.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
so it's not technically it's not the Rock's character, whatever. That's got to be intentional, man. Come on.
It must be. It must be.
So I think next right here we learn that in order to summon the gun-wielding Rock, there's a ritual that must take place.
Up. Before that happens, man, I can't go past this. Beck cocks 2 shotguns using armpits.
Does he?
Yeah. He's not his armpits, the fucking, like, one of the guy's armpits. He just cocks
Whoa.
it. Dude, it's fucking
Movies
wild.
are so cool now.
But it's like, did that, like...
Like Danny just woke up like 15 years ago from a coma. Like,
Did
wow,
you-
I can't imagine what they're fucking doing.
But you know what? Like, dude, like, it's just funny, like, watching that guy like watch him like cock the shotguns. Like, did this guy like hold his arms closer to his like fucking body?
Yeah,
like to
he's like, remember your training. Close your arms. Oops.
I need friction to cock these shotguns. Like, you can't put your arms out. Damn it.
Now, is this before or after he has like the moment of clarity and goes on a fucking kill? Okay, yeah,
because he's emptying the gun.
He doesn't. Right, yeah. Like some of that stuff is kind of cool. Like later on, I'm like, I don't mind seeing that once or twice. Like that's kind of cool. Like your whole thing is you don't use guns, so disarm people. Cool, whatever. But like using it later on, he like shoots the shotgun and twirls them back into his own armpits, and then swings them back around. I'm like, oh my god, come on. I dual akimbo, and by the way, this whole town looks like an unused level from like Modern Warfare 2.
Thank you.
Like,
I thought that the whole time.
I was like, I feel like I'm playing fucking Villa in like Modern Warfare 3. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on. But yeah, like this whole scene is like, I mean, it's utterly ridiculous.
It is. It's totally. I'll go through it in sequence. So Beck is eventually cornered. Travis is eventually cornered in a bus. Declan is fucking sitting down and rambling something. I don't understand those people.
It's the ritual to summon the gun-wielding rock. He has to say that poem.
He says dying of the light or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gas starts pouring from under the bus. There's a fire. Lots of slow motion. Beck prays or something. I don't know. Reaches into his soul. Whatever. Rock
taps out of his WWE-ness.
You know when he's like found God because rock music starts playing to show us that the guns are cool.
The hilarious part is Sean William Scott's in that bus. It's just getting ripped to shreds. Like I mean, they're turning it into fucking Swiss cheese. Like I love it by the time Rock got over there that he just looked like Peter Weller from the beginning of RoboCop. Just fucking blasted into pieces.
Dude, like it takes him so long.
He's got like a fucking handoff.
It takes him so long.
Yeah.
Like
it's like, dude. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the funniest part for me, like when he steps out, is like it's the fucking Brazilian flag behind him.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I know there's a bunch of people. There's some guy out there who has just fucking talking out of his ass. He's like, yeah, see, that's a little bit of an Easter egg because he's brown, he's Brazilian, so that's why they put the Brazilian flag behind him. It's like, yeah, sure, okay, whatever.
My name is Dwayne. No, it's not.
It's my last name is Johnson, for fuck's sake. But like, I love that like he comes to this like realization that guns are good or whatever the fuck, and like instead of an American flag, which this totally should be, it's a Brazilian flag. It's like the American filmmakers are like, see, it's not just us, it's the Brazilians.
All countries think this way.
Oh man, the Rock stomps ass. The Rock.
The Rock guy. I like this scene because the Rock really goes to your knee. He stops some ass. Let me tell you.
It's like during the fucking NRA section of the movie, I just went south.
You quickly became like a 40-year-old white man from Minnesota for like just out of nowhere.
This section of the movie is The Rock exercising his constitutional right.
This is what is it? The Second Amendment.
The right to bear arms.
It's like 20-something-year-old law student discovers in his past life he was a 40-year-old white male named Dale Smith.
Oh boy, the Rock stomps at ass, but really.
I'm sorry, you can't fucking do that.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. But really, I said, but really, like, as soon as he, like, gets out, like, he's shot immediately. There's just so many guys pointing guns at him. Like, they all just pause to look at him, like, step out. Like, I love it.
Is he finally wielding a gun?
But, by the way, okay, so there's one moment where he, like, puts two shotguns in one hand and fires them at the same time next to each other. Dude, how long is his trigger finger?
It's like Jimi Hendrix when it comes to guns, like huge hands.
Like this, I guarantee you, this guy, like with those fingers, he could pleasure a woman.
Well, dude, it cracks me up because it's like how do you learn that you have that skill to hold both the barrels of the shotgun? It's like, are you a hot dog eating champion? Like, is that like you can fit two hot dogs in one hand? Like, it's pretty much the
your
same
eating
concept.
training.
Yeah, remember your years of training.
You want to hear?
Dude,
oh no, yeah, go, Colin.
Well, dude, just the fucking shotguns. Like, are you kidding me? Like, apparently his shotguns are like hollow point shotguns that have range of 40 feet. I was like, dude, like, I mean, it's fucking insane because like
perfect aim.
Oh, dude, and like all these guys, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6, 7, 8 guys with automatic weapons who can't fucking stop one. This reminds me of Boondock Saints, where he's like, what if it's one guy with 6 guns? You know, it's like you could have spent 2 guys in here with shotguns and killed the whole fucking town. Like that is wonderful. That is so crazy.
Dude, there's only one moment in this entire final sequence of gunplay that I like, and I'll get to it when I get to it. But like, want to hear the most 2003 shit ever?
What?
The slow-mo explosion walking.
Yes.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I had to squint watching it.
Someone explained to me how the explosion happens behind you and the air pushes your shirt from the front. Like, how the fuck does that happen? Nobody noticed that this air just like, it's not like it hits him from the back and the shirt kind of ruffles up a little bit. It's like deliberately coming from the front of him. Like, just some dude who's fucking hungover and on Xanax hitting with a leaf blower on a green screen.
Yeah, and then like fucking Travis like lands, like pretty much face plants, right? And then like he misses that tire. Like the tire just got, like he dodges a tire. He like bullet
like
times
if
a
George
tire.
Lucas went back with the special edition, he would fly forward, but like 18 tires would fly over. Some animals and cows would run across the screen. The Scottish guy would be in the background singing. It was just a bunch of like piling.
It was always how I intended it would be. Yes,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like, this is all the stuff that I wanted to do back in the day, but yeah.
Didn't have the
Is Jar
technology.
Jar there? Jar Jar's there in this one. He's there.
Jar Jar's there. Yep. The water tower comes down. Dude, the most wild thing in this movie: The Rock does some Superman shit and punches a pillar in the same movement.
Oh my god!
So
Holy
outrageous.
shit! Holy shit!
No one would believe him if he went back and was like, I had to punch I practically brought a whole building down.
But you
I
know
punched
what?
to one of the columns.
You know what? I love this shit as a kid. I ate it up.
Oh, yeah.
And so LSG talk about this in the Commando podcast with Arnold. Like very much like them. Like I was like defending this as a kid. Like I was just like, but it was poorly made. It was crumbling. Like I'm sure he could do that.
Like he doesn't lose any momentum when he hits a solid structure. Don't you understand how obscure that looks?
No,
he should have like smacked into it and recoiled and went off the other end, and like the guys in the building below should have been like, did you feel something?
I'm 10. I don't know physics. Like I actually think that fucking The Rock's sweating in this movie, and it's not just baby oil.
You're like, that's 900 pounds of man going through a column.
The thing that gets me is like the whole like if he were like kicking down like the wooden support beams of it, like if he just jumped to it and made it, like I don't need to see him go full on like Batman versus Superman fucking fight scene where they're like crumbling through a bathroom and all this tile and shit. Like it's like, dude, that's just crazy because like I don't mind him kicking out those wooden beams. It's actually kind of cool. I was like, wow, that's smart. Work smarter, not harder. You can't beat these guys with guns right now. Like I actually don't mind that. It's kind of in a movie so full of guns. Eventually he's like, I can use guns right now, but I don't really like need to. So like I can actually go back to what I was talking about and stay consistent with the character and not use like the guns towards the end of this. It's like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, you had to go fucking full on like Bane punching the fucking column at the end of Dark Knight Returns. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's a bit much.
Totally. The three whip battle is cool. Like the three whipmen, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know. Hatcher loads his gun, and I do like the shot of Beck's pistol being snatched away by the whip.
Wow.
Yeah. I went up to the what? But the first note that I have is like, why do they have knives in their hilts? Like
why
the whips.
not?
Like okay, so you're whipping a slave, right? And then you're just like, yeah, this slave's not gonna learn. I gotta fucking slice some shit into him. So you whip out the knife that's like hidden, embedded in your like whip. Cool.
Well, what the fuck else do they have to do down there in the Amazon? Like play Xbox?
True.
They're just gonna be like, you think we could do something cool with our whips?
It's just so sad I can't even come up with jokes anymore. No, I'm just kidding. It's like, no, like I mean, I can see the dude carrying a fucking knife, but like, oh, let me bust out my, like, he pops the knife out of the handle, and then he's like, oh yeah, I got a couple almonds in here and a pack of cigarettes. Like, he's like, it's got a compass on it. This thing's pretty sweet.
This is my survival pack.
I keep on these. Oh, yeah, I got these whips. I went to a convention in about 95. I got these signed by Michelle Pfeiffer. It's pretty cool.
So apparently it takes like 8 hours for Hatcher to walk from his compound to the fight because he walks for ages. One of the snipers recover and takes sight of Beck. Travis shoots him, and like I said, this is my favorite moment of gunplay in the movie. I love the shot of like Travis shoots him, the sniper falls, Beck catches it, spins and shoots Hatcher's Desert Eagle out of his hand.
Yeah,
like,
and then
whoa!
that was whoa.
Yeah, but I love the shot of the sniper falling from the tower. It's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome moment. And Travis just takes off. Hatcher picks up the Desert Eagle. By the way, Desert Eagle, fucking not to be fucked with.
Yeah.
And he's shot by Mariana. Hold your horses. The slaves start gathering around. Beck says option A is still on the table, but Hatcher refuses. By the way, why do they keep letting Hatcher pick up the Desert Eagle? Like twice. Like this guy, they're like, oh, we'll just keep letting him pick up the loaded fucking 50 caliber gun. No worries.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they coordinated who was going to shoot him each time, because at some point I'm afraid all of them would have accidentally shot and he just died.
Right, yeah, like we don't want him to die too early. We want him to explain himself. Come on. He gets shot twice. That's it. I'm done. Picks up his hat, tells Beck he'll take option A, and he dies. His final line is, shit.
Shit.
It is a little bit anticlimactic. Like I wanted him to have a bit more. I don't know. What did you think, Colin? Has Colin passed away?
Nah, I'm just, I'm done. I'm just kidding. That'd be so funny if like 3/4 of the way through a podcast and somebody just stopped talking. They're like, all right, cool. Well, this has been Midnight Double Feature. I'm Colin. I'm Danny.
Bye.
And then there's just no yeah, it actually kind of made me laugh because I'm still thinking of Batman Returns, like with Penguin fucking, like just kind of slumping forward and like falling face first, and then you see Christopher Walken doing that. I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of funny.
Travis returns with the gato and hands it to Mariana. He just comes back. Like, what made him come back? Like, Beck takes Travis back anyway. Like, I don't...
He was like, I have more dick jokes. Listen.
Yeah. Declan, stop the plane. The villagers celebrate. Okay. You're still poor.
All right.
But he's like, yeah, that's great. Just, it's going to take you like 24 months to sell that thing, right?
And,
what are we going to do about that big pit in the backyard?
Yeah, all of our water's gone. Somebody knocked the fucking thing over.
All of our livestock's gone. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
The bagpipes have holes in them.
So somebody shot our cows out of water and our boss is dead.
I'm gonna need an advance on that sale. Yeah, that fucking $24 million sale. Can you just give us that money now? But yeah, they're back in LA. Travis's dad slaps him, tells him he's going back to Chicago, and like you don't really know why he wants him back, but you get this like quick line, I didn't know she was married, so I guess okay. Beck gets $250,000, and Beck's free to go. Beck gives Billy and his boys the Colabos, big seeds. I don't like seeds. And Billy starts hallucinating, and he's not hallucinating. That dude's oh wait. Billy starts hallucinating, but he's not hallucinating that dude's thick as fuck eyebrows. Did you guys see the caterpillars on that guy's face?
It's huge.
Yeah, that's actually, have you ever seen Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler?
Oh, yeah.
That's the football player that he knocks the fuck out of.
He looks familiar as shit. Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, that guy's hilarious in Mr. Deeds. He calls his dad beats the fuck out of him. Oh my God. But yeah, this dude, look at him. I'm like, wow, he must be Italian. The first thing I'm thinking.
As a kid, I always loved the "Hey Dad, woo" thing. I know that was always just fucking me as a kid. Oh, they made funny faces. Outside, don't push me. And he does a thunder and lightning thing, but it's a fake out. And then we cut to credits. Guys, I can't wait for the sequel. Just quickly,
it's coming out soon.
And that's the rundown, or Welcome to the Jungle.
The Jungle. It'll be the second one.
We got... Oh, okay. All right. No, but you know what? The Jumanji movie that The Rock was in recently is actually called Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That's not going to be super confusing.
Yeah, I know. But, guys, that's the rundown, directed by Peter Berg. Hey!
Yeah.
fucking this was honestly, this kind of was a bit annoying to watch again. This did not hold up. This did not hold up the way I thought it would. When I was a kid, man, I loved the shit out of this movie, but man, this was rough to watch again. It's got so many problems. It's just so light. It's very shallow, but honestly, it was really fun to make fun of it on the podcast.
Yes, so I have a list of things that I've kept like written down, and it's actually podcasts of movies that aren't supposed to be like, Oscar-winning roles. They're supposed to be ones that just have a lot of like comical, like, what? Come on,
Oh,
really?
so Colin, we're not going to let Danny choose again, right? That's the moral of this story.
You got. I remember that.
Because this is like one of the first like I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this is the worst movie we've ever done. It's not the I don't think we do like movies that are like that bad. But this is like very different like from a lot of the movies that we've done. This is definitely like a popcorn flick.
Yes.
This is just turn your brain off. Don't ask a lot of questions. Don't worry about gravity or math or physics or common sense because it's not gonna matter.
No, but it's not even like good popcorn like movie. Like a good popcorn movie to me is like Bad Boys 2.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess it's just. I guess it just like depends. Like, I don't know. Like, because like a popcorn. Like when I think of like the term popcorn movie, I'm thinking something that you're just like, I don't fucking care. Like,
right.
And like Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. I think those are. I mean, those are actually pretty damn good movies. So like I put them in a little bit higher category than like popcorn movies. Like they're more action based kind of things, but they're not like it's not like Rambo action. It's not like it's more like 48 Hours or like Beverly Hills Cop like kind of action,
Yeah, I'm with you. Wait, did you just agree to liking a Michael Bay movie?
Which one? I don't even fucking. Oh yeah. The first Bad Boys I remember watching as a kid, and I remember liking it pretty well. But it's been a long time. Like I remember liking it though. But it's been a hot minute. I just remember that fucking black horse running on like the freeway or something like that.
Or
shot, yeah, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Have you ever seen The Rock, Colin?
Yes.
Okay.
It's you. You're the Rocket Man. I'm like, oh god.
Listeners, I am promising you this. We will cover that one day.
Oh man,
I want to be.
You cut the chit chat a-hole. I've said that so many times in real life, and I get the same look that I give myself when I hear that line.
Yeah. Winners get to go home and fuck the prom queen.
Oh man, the first time I heard that, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, but guys, come on, the rundown. Final thoughts. Give us your final thoughts, Danny, and give us a score. Give us a rating. What do you think of it today?
I was hoping you weren't going to ask for a score because I'm probably not going to rate it as high as I thought it was whenever I suggested this a few days ago, but I'm still glad that I did because it's a fun movie to go through and pick fun of. It's a nice startup for Rock and his character, Dwayne Johnson, transitioning, I guess, into that more like Dwayne Johnson role and everything that you see him in now. But he's entertaining to watch in this. It's fun to watch Christopher Walken act goofy. Some of the action scenes are just neat to kind of think about, like the whole table getting ripped in half by a whip is just kind of cool and little things like that. But you're right. They shouldn't have survived falling out of that fall on the cliff. That should have ended the movie for good. So just so many unrealistic parts in it. Once I'm going back through and watching it, probably like it's like a 6 out of 10, probably.
Nice. It's good to know that you're sane, because I thought, like, when you chose this, you thought this was like a masterpiece. So it's good to know.
And I even said in the beginning, it's you turn your brain off in popcorn movie. Those don't usually really age well. I've noticed. But like sometimes you're doing something else and you want a movie on in the background. This is that style of movie where you look at it and you're like, you look over at whoever you're watching with. For me, it's my wife. I always look over and go, come on, what the fuck was that? And she's like, yeah, this is weird. So this followed those lines pretty well as well, and still one of those movies that's just kind of in our little circle of friends is fun to talk about and go, and yeah, it's like him like going through and fucking knocking down that building whenever we see something else happen in a video game. We go, that was like in the fucking Rundown when he's like crushing the building. Like that's why these movies are made to like reference other shit.
Yeah, so, honestly, I had forgotten that happened until I watched it this time around, man. I was just like, oh my god, that happened? That's on film?
Right.
But anyway,
6 out of 10. 10. Colin,
Yeah,
what
give us your
do you
thoughts,
think of
Colin.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like a 6. Crazy part is $85 million budget, made $80 million.
Ooh.
That's, yeah. I was like, $85 million. Like when I saw that, I was like, I mean, you got Walken. Don't get me wrong. You got Walken. Sean William Scott's up there, at this time. He's pretty hot, but Brock and Rosario Dawson are kind of nobodies at this point. Like, I mean, they're not nobodies. They've done some stuff, but in the film world, I'm like, $85 million, dude. Like, but I guess it makes sense. It's in Hawaii. Shit is really expensive in Hawaii. Like, if my brother went there, I think for his honeymoon, and he was like, dude, a pack of cigarettes is fucking ridiculous there.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't even end up buying them. It's so expensive. So I think a lot of places actually try to avoid filming in Hawaii if they can. But a funny story that I read was they actually, I guess some of like the scouts for the production went and looked at some locations in South America, and they got robbed at gunpoint, and they had all their shit stolen. They're like, fuck it, we're going to Hawaii.
Yeah. No shit.
Oh man, Colin. Yeah. So, this movie's okay. It's not as good as I remember. I think a lot of it there was some nostalgia there, but it was kind of like Dash when it was just like, boy, this is not good. Like this. For those of you who are like The Rundown, it's a great movie. Blah blah blah. Watch it again, guys. It's dated as fuck. But this is a good movie, a first movie for The Rock, because it's like it totally informs what he's going to become eventually. Like he's this not crazy. He's like a very charismatic, likable lead action star. And he's awesome. He's actually great in this for his first movie. He's good, man. I like him. But other than that, it's it's kind of forgettable.
On a scale of 1 to 10, then.
Probably 5. Yeah,
fair.
it's nothing special, but honestly, I had a lot more fun on the podcast than I did watching this movie.
Me too, and that's kind of what I was hoping.
Right, exactly. This is really fun to talk about. But I'm gonna close off with our socials, guys. Unless you guys have anything else to say.
Nope, let's hear them.
Nope.
Hell yeah. So, guys, we are Midnight Double Feature. We've got two faces on page book, is what I was about to say.
That's also true.
We got two pages on Facebook. We got Midnight Double Feature, which is where we post all our official stuff, and then we've got the After Party, which is where we post memes and news and things like that, and we just basically have discussions. So that's also an awesome page. So you can follow us on there. We're also on Instagram, which is at Midnight Double Feature, and we're also on Twitter, which is at MDF Pod. You can find us anywhere. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. That's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to say, guys. What about you? Any closing things? This is
Don't be afraid to stop by and rate and review.
Hell yeah. Fuck me. I can't believe I forgot that. I'm so great at this. Rate and review us on iTunes, guys. Even if it's like something that you don't really think we deserve. Like if you don't think we deserve 5 stars, give us 1 star. Like but tell us why. We'd like to know what we're doing wrong. We'd like to know what we're doing. We want what we can do to get better. Man. Other than that, guys, this has been really fun. Thank you so much to Colin and Danny for joining me on this one. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.
The ice is gonna break!